Hi everyone, it's Budget Bunny here. I unfortunately have some sad news today. A couple days ago we had to put our senior guinea pig Bella down. For those of you who have been following me for a couple years, you will remember that Bella was part of a senior piggy trio that was returned back to Piggles Rescue, where I was volunteering. And after they sat for months in foster care, I decided to give them their forever home because I hated the thought of senior piggies not having a forever home. So unfortunately, Bella became very bloated and we were using all the right medications. We got her to the emergency vet, but unfortunately x-rays and ultrasound showed that she was just so bloated and filled with this gas that it actually had collapsed one of her lungs and her body was shutting down. So the kindest thing to do was to put her to sleep. Bo, who was the eldest out of all of them, he unfortunately passed away a few months ago as well. Again, at the emergency clinic. He was close to 7 years old and Bella was 5.5, 6. So they still lived really good life here, but of course we're going to miss them dearly. They were both sweethearts. I will, in the cards above here, leave a video to when we first got them, as well as their introduction videos, so that in case you are interested in learning a little more about them. They were both like super sweet piggies with like such sweet dispositions. So that being said, that means that we have one of the trio left. Bree is also around 5.5, 6 years old. She came in with Bella, I believe originally from Toronto Animal Services, which is why those girls were spayed and then bonded with Bo. But of course now Bree is by herself, and that isn't any way for a piggy to live. So I am going to be attempting to bond her with our herd of 4. And this had always kind of been my long-term goal, was that once we got down to a single piggy, I would just integrate them into our other herd. The reason I couldn't do that from the beginning was because it's really unlikely that 2 males in a herd setting, like with females, are ever going to get along. They unfortunately would just get territorial and fight over the other females that are in the group. So that was why I had set up that 3rd cage for the trio to live there, and then when the time came, and integrate that final pig, as long as it was a female, into the rest of the herd. So I am a little bit concerned. My herd consists of some really awesome pigs. Anytime I've introduced a new pig, there's really been no issues at all. But Brie has always been a very bossy, dominant pig. Her and Bo were kind of off and on again. They were constantly rumbling and humping each other, especially during cage cleans and being a little bossy. Never broke out into fights, but those two never 100% got along. So I know that Bree has a very big personality. I'm a little anxious to see how she's going to do with 4 other pigs, most of which are around her age now. So I'm gonna start by setting up a temporary pen in neutral territory so that nobody feels like they're encroaching on one another's territory, and start from there. Okay, so since I am introducing guinea pigs to one another, it's important to do this in neutral territory where they don't spend any of their time. That way they just can't get territorial about items that are around them or the space that they're around them. If you think about a stranger coming to your door and then just inviting themselves into your space, it would make you feel pretty uncomfortable. And that's the same kind of reasoning for introducing animals in neutral territory. It just takes away that added anxiousness of feeling like you have to defend your territory. So I've just grabbed some storage grids I had hanging around in our cold cellar. I just have a ton of these laying around. it seems like I'm always needing to build a temporary cage here and there or a pen setup. And they're also great to kind of block off little areas if I've got any of the pigs or rabbits out for floor time. And then I've just put this fuzzy blanket down underneath. That's just to kind of protect my floors a bit, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of pooping and peeing during this time as they mark their territory. Okay, so I've got all the pigs in the pen here with some romaine lettuce. Oh, Emma is having a good, Emma, she's checking out Brie. She's like, who is this new piggy in my space? But that's why you always want to make sure there's lots of fresh foods. We want to keep them kind of distracted where we're forcing them to interact, but it's kind of over a social event and they can just get used to being close to one another and seeing one another, but also enjoying their food together. Eating together is always ideal. So our current herd of 4 features Link, Serafina, Violet, and Emma. They've all been living together for the last year and a half. If you've been following me for a while, you know this herd has changed over the years. It's grown, it's gotten a little bit smaller, just as some piggies have passed or as I adopt other guinea pigs. But these guys are super chill and just get along so well. When we had Juliet, she was the clear matriarch of our little piggy herd. She was the boss pig, but also would just be the first one to kind of introduce a new pig to the herd and show them the ropes. And she would just buddy up with them for a few weeks, which was just awesome to watch. She was just such a special pig. When Violet came to us, she was actually really, really scared about her new living situation, and she hid in the back corner for about 4 days straight. And Juliet just totally chummed right up with her, and now Violet is the most outgoing pig ever. And I really just attribute that to Juliet. Unfortunately, Juliet just passed of natural causes a little over a year ago, just of old age. And then I knew with having the 3 senior pigs I had adopted that I didn't want more guinea pigs. I knew eventually I would get into this situation where I was going to have 1 guinea pig left from that senior trio. So leaving the herd at 4 meant that I had sufficient space in their pen when that time came. So my biggest, I guess, concern about bonding Brie with these guys is that she has always been a very, very outgoing, bossy pig. So I'm honestly a little surprised that she is being so good with these guys so far. Typically when I've done bonding in the past, I kind of find the first, I don't know, half an hour or so goes really well. And then everyone kind of gets bored of the space that they're in and, you know, their bellies are full. And then that seems to be when more activity starts happening. So I think we'll see. And I've had all day bonds where I've had to sit with everyone for a full day and make sure they're okay before moving them into their housing. And then I've had other bonds where I literally can leave them, do a cage clean, and by the time I'm done the cage clean, they're ready to move in together. So I do anticipate that this is going to take at least a few hours, but I am hoping that it doesn't get too exciting because I really hate Brie being on herself. So it would just be nice to get everyone integrated now. Bree. What are you doing, Violet? Oh, she's had enough with bonding. She's like, y'all can figure out your poop. I'm just gonna hang out over here and stay out of it. Oh my gosh, this pig. So cute, babies. So you've probably noticed in some of the previous clips, there's been lots of chattering and chasing and nipping of butts. But here's Violet over in the corner just taking a nap. Oh, Bree. Oh, saucy pants. Violet's just like, nope, I'm not doing this. Okay, so it is about 10 o'clock at night now. I had them in the bonding cage for about 12 hours. That was definitely way longer than I anticipated, but there was a lot of activity going on. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone had settled down with each other enough before I moved them into their permanent pen. So as you can see, I have kept their pen very, very open. You definitely don't want to put any kind of hidey houses in, especially if they're one way, whether they're plastic, wooden, or handmade. Anywhere that someone could get trapped. You don't want to create a situation where one pig goes into an area, the other one gets trapped, and then that starts a fight. So it's just basically some pillows, some cage liners, a couple beds, again, that are open so that if one pig tries to go in it, the other one can just easily walk away. I've made sure there are multiple areas of hay piles around the pen as well so that nobody can get territorial. I do still have the grid cage set up above them, and that is just because first of all, I wanted to make sure that this herd was going to work before I dismantle the cage, because if Bree needed a buddy, then they would have to live in that cage. And the second reason is because I have all of these guys' water bottles attached to that cage. So I've got some ideas of some things I would like Mr. BB to create for us. So once I feel confident that this herd is working and Mr. BB has some extra time, he can make them something that will hold the water bottles, and then I feel like I can dismantle this cage. Okay, so we definitely had a full-blown tornado in that back corner. That's why I had to stop the video and split it up. Everybody seems to be doing okay, but I am just going to stay out of the pen for now on. I think the issue is when I'm sitting in the pen, it's actually blocking a large portion of the pen because of the grids that are coming down and holding the water bottles from the cage up above. So I am just going to observe and hopefully nothing worse happens. I honestly, I knew that there was going to be a lot of action bonding Brie with these guys. I mean, it is, to be fair, a lot to be suddenly introduced to 4 other pigs. But yeah, this has been a action-packed bonding event for sure. So it's been about 5 days. Everyone is getting along much better. Bree still gets really excited about certain things. As you can see, I have added some more cozies into their pen area, but everything has an entry and an exit. She's still being kind of territorial and bossy, especially with Link. I don't know, because she kind of had a lot of issues with Bo, I don't know if it's just like a male thing. She seems to have settled in with the girls pretty well. But with Link, she's just bossing him around a lot. But yeah, he's hiding in that back tunnel right there. But as you can see, the tunnels open at both ends. I have added some cubes back in, but they have 2 exit points. So I'm just kind of keeping things still open and basic, but just a few more spots for them to be cozy and kind of chill out. I still have to have a couple hay piles. That is what I'm finding she gets really bossy about. The water bottles aren't such an issue because I've got them on opposite sides of that grid. And that way, while I have seen her try to run back and forth around the grids, it's just a lot of work. So in that sense, I haven't worried about anyone not getting a sufficient amount of water. But for the most part, basically, there just ends up being hay all over the cage right now, which is fine as long as everyone is getting along okay. That's not a big deal. I'm just really watching her with Link. There's no fighting breaking out. It's just her kind of really getting in his face and bossing him away from the food. So I just wanted to give another update since it's been about 6 weeks since these guys moved in full-time together. And I'm very happy to report that everyone is living together really, really well. Bree's food guarding was still an issue, so Mr. BB and I have solved that problem. He's made me a couple fun things, including some hay boxes to put in opposite areas of the cage. And I'll be doing another video showing some of those things that he's made, because he's made some new items for the rabbits too I'm really excited about. So that will be in another video. But having different areas where I feed everyone has really helped, because Bree cannot run around this massive pen and just try to take charge the entire time. So that's really solved that issue, and otherwise everybody is getting along really, really well. And I'm just so happy for all of them that they all have each other. I just love having a herd. I love watching them interact. I love so many piggies together. It's just, it makes me so happy. So I'm really glad this has worked out for everyone. So that's it from me and the piggies. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment and give a likes up, and we can't wait to share with you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!